tortuous process, dates rejigged, last-minute cancellations. Sometimes it was her fault, more often his. Even tonight he should have been elsewhere. He ran his hands down the front of his jacket, feeling the bulge in his inside breast pocket, his own little time bomb. Checking his watch, he saw it was nearly 9 o'clock. He could drive or he could walk. He wasn't going far. He decided to drive. Edinburgh on firework night, leaves blown into thick lines down the pavement. One morning soon he would find himself scraping frost from his car windscreen, feeling the cold like jabs to his kidneys. The south side of the city seemed to get the first frost earlier than the north. Rebus, of course, lived and worked on the south side. After a stint in Craigmillar, he was back at St. Leonard's. He could make for there now. He was still on shift, after all, but he had other plans. He passed 3 pubs on his way to his car. Chat at the bar, cigarettes and laughter, a fog of heat and alcohol. He knew these things better than he knew his own daughter. 2 out of the 3 bars boasted doormen. They didn't seem to be called bouncers these days. They were doormen or front-of-house managers, big guys with short hair and shorter fuses. One of them wore a kilt. His face was all scar tissue and scowl, the scalp shaved to abrasion. Rebus thought his name was Watty or Wally. He belonged to Telford. Maybe they all did. Graffiti on the wall further along. Won't anyone help? 3 words spreading across the city. Rebus parked around the corner from Flint Street and started walking. The street was in darkness at ground level except for a cafe and an amusement arcade. There was 1 lamppost, its bulb dead. The council had been asked by police not to replace it in a hurry. The surveillance needed all the help it could get. A few lights were shining in the tenement flats. There were 3 cars parked curbside, but only one of them with people in it. Rebus opened the back door and got in. A man sat in the driver's seat, a woman next to him. They looked cold and bored. The woman was Detective Constable Siobhan Clark, who had worked with Rebus at St. Leonard's until a recent posting to the Scottish Crime Squad. The man, a detective sergeant called Claverhouse, was a Crime Squad regular. They were part of a team keeping 24-hour tabs on Tommy Telford and all his deeds. Their slumped shoulders and pale faces bespoke not only tedium but the sure knowledge that surveillance was futile. It was futile because Telford owned the street. Nobody parked here without him knowing who and why. The other 2 cars parked just now were Range Rovers belonging to Telford's gang. Anything but a Range Rover stuck out. The crime squad had a specially adapted van which they usually used for surveillance, but that wouldn't work in Flint Street. Any van parked here for longer than 5 minutes received close and personal attention from a couple of Telford's men. They were trained to be courteous and menacing at the same time. "Undercover bloody surveillance," Claverhouse growled. "Only we're not undercover and there's nothing to survey." He tore at a Snickers wrapper with his teeth and offered the first bite to Siobhan Clark, who shook her head. "Shame about those flats," she said, peering up through the windscreen. "They'd be perfect." "Except Telford owns them all," Claverhouse said through a mouthful of chocolate. "Are they all occupied?" Rebus asked. He'd been in the car a minute and already his toes were cold. "Some of them are empty," Clark said. "Telford uses them for storage." "But every bugger in and out of the main door gets spotted," Claverhouse added. "We've had meter readers and plumbers try to wangle their way in." "Who was acting the plumber?" Rebus asked. "Ormiston. Why?" Rebus shrugged. "Just need someone to fix a tap in my bathroom." Claverhouse smiled. He was tall and skinny, with huge dark bags under his eyes and thinning fair hair. Slow-moving and slow-talking, people often underestimated him. Those who did sometimes discovered that his nickname of Bloody Claverhouse was merited. Clark checked her watch. 90 minutes till the changeover." "You could do with the heating on," Rebus offered. Claverhouse turned in his seat. "That's what I keep telling her, but she won't have it." "Why not?" He caught Clark's eyes in the rear view. She was smiling. "Because," Claverhouse said, It means
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.